look, guys, so we are bringing you the shows, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 o'clock. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 o'clock. Monday is the Strongside Showdown. So I bring to you general health, fitness, wellness tips, things that you would, generally speaking, general population want to use to be fit and healthy, whether that's quarantine, no quarantine, whatever. Wednesday, 1 o'clock, we have power players, which we're doing today. And Friday, dude, we got fitness business. And that is, I love some fitness business. But it's a good time. We just bring a lot of people together and work on getting better. So here's what we're going to do today. We got Christian Blackstock, man. Now, you guys know that every Wednesday, we'll bring to you people that, some people are members, some people are not members. Christian happens to be an awesome Strongside member. We brought Ricky from SFX in last week. But yeah, really what we're trying to do is, look, Strongside, we make people better, right? We're just trying to say, okay, what does that really mean? Well, it means fitness. It means you personally. It means you getting some motivation and tuning into these shows and these platforms and saying, yeah, dude, I want to be better. I want to be better physically. I want to be better mentally. I want to get some great training in. I want to be around people that encourage me to get better. I want to tune in every Wednesday, find some power players. I don't care if you're an accountant, an entrepreneur, a teacher, you're just wanting to get better. Let's bring you some amazing people to just talk about getting better. So, what's up, Christian?
What's up, Mitch?
So, it's just going to be a real casual like deal. So, I mean, I'm fired up that you're on here, dude. We talk all the time and you just get me going and all that. But like, I don't know, just tell us about you.
Yeah, so Christian Blackstock. I'm a member here at Strongside. I joined here probably about 6 months ago. Been killing it. I really take my fitness.
I've been killing it.
In my opinion, I don't know about Mitch's, but in my opinion, I really take my fitness. I think it's very important. No matter what you do, day to day, I think fitness is by far a very important thing you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So it's important to me. It keeps my mind clear. It helps me with my anxiety. And I've really loved Strongside. And Mitchell and I have become, he's not only my coach, but he's become a good friend of mine. We talk almost on a daily basis. We both have that entrepreneurship. Like Mitchell said earlier, we ping pong ideas off of each other. We're like, okay, one thing at a time, one thing at a time.
We're gonna take over the world.
Exactly. So a couple of things I do.
Dude, like, why are you on Power Players? Like, what are you doing?
So I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a franchisee. I own a couple locations called Phoenix Salons. It's a salon suite. So for those of you that don't know what it is, it's I lease out a space and I divide it into individualized salons, and I lease it out to your hairstylist, any kind of cosmetologist, your makeup artist, Botox. We have some dentists at some other locations. There's about 250 locations around the United States. My partners and I, we have one in Acres Mill by the Brave Stadium, and one in Midtown on Peachtree Street, and then working on constructing another one in Buckhead on Far Road, which I'm really excited about, doing that with a partner that I've met through this whole thing, and then locking one down in Johns Creek. So pretty excited.
I was really interested in this. You have how many people renting from you?
So each location is different. And I'll go ahead. The reason I love this business model is because it's a recurring revenue stream. As long as you have your people in there, they're paying weekly rent, and some of them will stay from a year to 2 years to there's some locations. There's one in Kennesaw that my buddy owns, and he's had somebody there for 4 or 5 years. So it's that you call it mailbox money. There's money in the mailbox every week.
And you have how many employees?
You have 0. Well, I have one 1099. We have one 1099 girl that she's awesome. She helps us clean, does the front desk. She looks pretty, a lot prettier than me. So, and she knows how to deal with the day-to-day salon stuff.
And most importantly, do you do hair? Or you
I do not do hair. I have great hair, but
don't come for a haircut.
But I do not do hair. Do not ask me for a haircut. The amount of times I've been asked that. I can't cut hair, no.
So what turned you on to it?
So Well, I've always wanted to work for myself. Obviously I have business partners and they've really helped me to get where I need to be. They're older than me and they mentor me and they have a lot more experience than I do. But when I was younger, I went to my dad and I basically said, Dad, I would like to go get a job. And he said, no. He said, you're not going to go get a job. You're going to learn how to work for yourself.
Way to go, Phil.
Yeah, way to go, Phil. Way to go, Pops. And he helped me go out and get a lawnmower, weed whacker, edger, and then a blower. And basically I went door to door, cold calling, canvassing, hey, can I mow your yard? Can I do this? And I had flyers, I had business cards, and I got that first taste of, my own paycheck, and I know where it's coming from, and I got it on my own, and I was hooked, man. I got the bug. My dad's been an entrepreneur his entire life. He's been more in the tech world more than anything. Him and I and my mom, we just teamed up on a new franchise up in Dalton, Georgia. Dalton, Rome. It's called Smash My Trash. It's a trash.
There's $1 billion idea right there. Done.
Exactly.
Smash My Trash.
So we
.com. We'll put the link below.
So we already got those 2 territories though, so you can't get those ones. I already signed for them.
And if anybody doesn't know where Dalton is, if the middle of nowhere is here, Dalton's about right here.
Exactly. So my dad and I are pretty fired up about that. So we're gonna do that. I was telling Mitchell earlier, the 2 trucks are coming from Germany, so Germany's still shut down. So it might be a little bit, but we're hoping have them here before Halloween this year. So we'll see. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's like 6 months, like half a year, dude.
I know. Well, what they do is there's a Kenworth is here in Texas, which actually makes the truck.
Yeah.
But the piece that they put on is from Germany, so Germany ships it to Texas, and then Texas rigs it and puts it all together, and then they got to ship it here. So everything, getting it on a boat right now from Germany is kind of hard. They got to still build it and then get it here. So with the quarantine going on.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
No, I love that spirit. I remember that. So my mom is a hairdresser, and she's always cut hair out of our house. And as a kid, that was the same thing. I was like, hey, I want to go get this video game or like something like that. And my mom's like, well, she would always say, look, like you're just gonna have to make some money. Like you're gonna have to pay for it. What are you gonna do? And I was like, all right. The first thing I did is I was going to do a lemonade stand, and I was like, well, my clientele's right there, right? Like I was like, I'm going to get sugar and lemons, whatever. And when they come in you get their hair done, I'm going to sell them some lemonades.
Exactly.
But then I did exactly what you did with lawn care. We grew up on 12 acres, and I think we had 3 trees. And I had to learn how to cut grass. I mean, it's just grass everywhere, bush hogging and like all that stuff.
Exactly.
And I was like, I'm gonna make some flyers, dude. If I can do this for my mom as my weekly chores, I can go charge somebody else $50 or whatever and go do it there. And I started doing the same thing: flyers, lawnmower, and then I would charge less if you would come pick me up because I couldn't drive, and I would charge more if somebody had to take the lawnmower.
Exactly.
There. So we talked about this a little bit before the thing, like just talking about that entrepreneur spirit. Like, what do you think? Like here's not everybody needs to own their own business. Some people are much better working for somebody.
Of course.
And there is nothing wrong with that, dude. There are people making hundreds of millions and even a few billionaires that work for other people.
Yep.
Like that's nothing wrong with that. But like.
And entrepreneurs wouldn't be anything without those people.
Exactly. Like it's like I'm nothing. I'm the product of all the amazing people.
Exactly.
Because I'm a dingbat. Like I'm the product of all the amazing people being like, calm down, bro. You need to do this, and
to me, it's like a quarterback. Quarterback looks great and sexy until he doesn't have his O-line. If he doesn't have his offensive line, he's doomed. You gotta. I know you're not a big football guy, Mitch.
O-line.
Offensive line.
I thought they played in straight lines. I don't know.
But, well, I mean, what was it?
So I was going to lead into a question.
Yeah, where do you want to go from there?
So, like, what do you think? I know we talked about this a little bit before, but, like, entrepreneurs, like, do you think you're born or can you be made, or what should you hone in on?
So my big thing is, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but entrepreneurship to me is a spirit. To me, it's something that... Was I born with it? No, I don't think so. Was it something I watched my dad do his entire life and my entire life since I was a little kid? Yeah, of course. My dad's owned multiple companies, and I've watched him ever since I was a little one. And, you know, most young men want to be like their dad. So I think my dad definitely gave me that boost and showed me that was an option. And a lot of people don't have that in front of them. You know, their dad might just work for a company and, you know, be a tech guy, and he's a cybersecurity guy, or he works for Salesforce or something like that, and he makes killer money, but he doesn't want to take that risk. It takes a lot of risk, and sometimes it can take a lot of stupidity too. I mean, you gotta do some crazy stuff to, you know, Jeff Bezos didn't just become the owner of Amazon. You know, he was 12 credit cards in debt and lived in the back of his car.
Yeah.
He did a lot of stupid stuff to get there.
But nobody sees that. They're like, he's worth $168 billion.
Exactly. Yeah,
today.
they don't. Yeah, they see the sexy side. They don't see the side, you know, to get there.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, you know, we were just talking, and they were like, oh man, it's so cool. I'm like, what you've done, and I was like, bro, I also remember getting rid of my car and running to work at 5 a.m. because I lived a mile and a half away, and getting somebody at the last class of the day to drive me home.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
You can come live with that if you want to live with that.
Yeah.
Like, and would you? I mean, we all go at some degree. We all go through like, you know, hard, crazy stuff. But like, you're like, okay, I'm a power player now, right? Like I'm grinding, you know, all these businesses and stuff like that. And just because you're doing all that stuff, you know, you're 20s now. You got a whole lifetime ahead of you. Yeah. And if you think you've messed up now, I'm sure you're going to mess up worse. And greater. Yeah. But would you trade it for anything? Like,
I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for $1 billion. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Nothing, man. I love it. Like, the amount I've learned in the past 2.5, 3 years from working with these partners doing these salons. I mean, and the people I've sat at tables with. Yeah. You know, and the connections I've made. Just, you know, there was one time I was sitting in a room and we were talking business, and there was a bunch of guys, and I'm like, man, all these guys started where I'm at. And if you take these guys, these 8, 9 guys, all their net worth probably equals over $1 billion. And that to me was just mind-boggling. Isn't
it interesting that they all come from, not all of them, but like, and this is again, if you only measure success monetarily and stuff. We talked on the last show about, because I was with another business owner, and I was like, money's just the scoreboard, dude. Yeah. If you're a jerk, it makes you a bigger jerk. If you're a nice person, but you know, whatever. But isn't it interesting how they just, I enjoy being around that because they think so different.
Oh yeah.
Like they talk on like that. You're like, feed me. Yeah. You're not even thinking like. Yep. It's just crazy. Those dinner conversations.
Oh yeah, they're awesome, man. They're really cool. And back to your other question, you know, if you're not an entrepreneur and you don't want to do that, there's people who are like, no, I don't want to take that risk. I love trade school, man. I think trade school is awesome. Yeah. My next door neighbor, my buddy Avery, he operates a crane. And he makes probably, I think, about $50-$60 an hour. And if he goes out to Texas for a job, they'll ship him out to Texas and pay him an extra $1,000 a week for, you know, travel. Went to trade school for that. Welders, there's welders out there making $150,000, $200,000 a year. Do they bust their butt? Sure. Do they have to work long hours? Sure. But they have a guaranteed paycheck. Yeah. You know, and it's awesome. They I got a lot of buddies that went to these highfalutin colleges and all this stuff, and they're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and they're coming out of college with a college degree and a cap and gown with a big smile on their face and all these papers that they can do all this stuff, you know, that they memorized all these math problems and all these people in the history book, but they're getting paid $60,000 a year.
Yeah. I mean, do you think, like, I don't even think, I agree with you, entrepreneurship is a spirit, but does it live more in like the business, or like, to me, at some degree, you could be an entrepreneur in the sense of like you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with, right?
Of course.
So if you're like, okay, look, I don't necessarily need to own my own business, but like you said, you know, what are the avenues that I'm going to go down to go to these dinner conversations, meet these people? You know, your network is your net worth. Yeah. So, like, what are some steps that I could say? Look, I don't want to own my business. I just want to be better. What are some things that you've done to just, I'm just gonna make myself better, dude, whatever that means.
To me, I'm a conversation guy, and it's gotten me in trouble. You know, I'll talk to anybody and ask anything, basically, and it really has gotten me in trouble before. You know, I'll go up to a guy in a parking lot that's driving a Rolls Royce, and I'm like, hey man, I want to get your card, and I want to sit down, and I'll buy you dinner. I want to know how you got there. I want to know how you did that. Yeah. And there's so many things out there. The amount of podcasts and Facebook Lives that are out there. This one, unfortunately, a lot of kids my age don't know how to sell themselves.
Yeah.
They think going to somebody and asking questions or wanting to learn is a burden. I hear that a lot. Kids applying for jobs. Well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So I think just putting yourself out there and asking questions. Like, you cannot ask enough questions. And to me, a lot of people disagree with this. There's not a stupid question.
There's only stupid people that don't ask questions.
Exactly. I ask millions of questions.
I get so mad when, like, you trust somebody with something and you're like, come to me with all the questions, and then they do it and they're too scared to ask a question and they fumble the whole thing up.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just call me.
Yeah.
What's the you said selling yourself, and then some other stuff, but what is the biggest sell you've had to make on yourself? Like you said, look, dude, whether it was that Rolls Royce, it was whatever, and you were like, I want this, whatever, conversation, whatever, and you're like, I'm gonna have to sell it to get the job, to get the girl, to get the whatever.
Yeah, so I'd say the biggest thing for me was probably getting into Phoenix salons. That was my biggest sell. I had to sell myself because, I didn't have any money. My parents didn't give me any money. They had the money, but they're not gonna just hand me the bone. They want me to dig and they want me to work.
Yeah.
So from my junior year in high school to, I think it was which would have been my freshman year of college, there was a guy I called almost probably every day and told him I want to be a business owner and I want to do my own thing. I looked at pawn shops, car lots, real estate, dozens and dozens of different kind of businesses that just didn't work out, and I started to feel defeated. But I kept calling them. I would knock on his door. Can I mow your yard? I'd knock on his door. Can I take your Christmas tree? I'd knock on can I buy you dinner? There was one time he called me. It was really, really cool. He called me and he said, hey, you want to talk? I said, yeah. He said, okay, pick me up at my house. And I drive an old pickup truck, I'm 22 years old. I drive the same pickup truck that I've driven since I was 15. And he's like, okay, pick me up at my house and take me to my plane. So I was like, okay.
This sounds like a made-up story.
No, I'm dead serious. He
plane.
He had a hangar out in Kennesaw, and he said, hey, I need you to come help me move some furniture and some stuff. So on his way to the hangar, I filled up in the truck. We're talking business, and we roll up, and this guy's, and I had no idea. He's the most humble guy. I've known him a long time. I've known him practically half my life, and I had no idea he had a plane. But we go there, and I walk in. He's got a hangar with his own plane. I'm like, okay, that was
what
pretty
kind of
cool.
Plane?
Oh, I've had one that flies. I don't know. Like one that fits 8 people, not just your little
that's
buzzer.
Legit, dude. Where he's got the little headset on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, one where the whole family can go. So it's pretty neat.
Isn't it neat how those people like Warren Buffett and all those people, Warren Buffett lives in the same house, super humble.
Yeah.
They buy time.
Exactly.
I'll live in the same house from the 1980s, but I have 2 G5s because I need time.
Yep.
That's what I mean about those dinner conversations. It's very interesting understanding like their mentality.
And that's the thing. Like I have no money by any means, but I'm not a flashy guy. You know what I mean? There's no wearing a Patek Philippe or your new Rolex doesn't mean anything. Of course, treat yourself. I'm more of like an experience kind of guy.
Yeah.
I love to take my girlfriend on a trip or, on a nice dinner or something. I spend most of my one-on-one time with her, and we make a really good team. But the other day, my buddy gave me crap about my truck. He's like, man, why don't you buy a new truck? I'm like, why? It still works. It got me here. Why?
Yeah.
I don't care what
I want to go open another salon.
Yeah, I want to go open another salon. Yeah. I mean, a new pickup truck nowadays costs $60,000-$70,000.
And it's going to zero.
Yeah, $60,000-$70,000 is a down payment on a new business.
Yeah.
That's the way I think. Obviously, yes, like I said, don't get obsessed. And there was a guy my dad told me a story about. He got to the point where he wouldn't turn his AC on in the summer because he wanted to save every dollar. Don't take it to that extent. Take care of yourself. But live simple. And I've always been that way. I've always been a pretty simple guy. Like, I don't need all the highfalutin stuff.
Yeah. So you talk about selling yourself a Phoenix salon. The other thing you said was like, just like putting in the work, right? Like, what is the biggest time frame like of crap that you've ever had? Like everybody has to eat the crap, right? Like just over to get the thing you want. And I tell people all the time that I don't want to do 80% of the stuff I do every day. Let me tell you how much I don't want to get up at 4 in the morning every day. Hate it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still going through the crap, man. I mean, it's every day, you know. Every time you find a new deal, I'm the kind of guy, I find a deal and I get really, really, really excited, and I'm like, it's going to work, it's going to work, it's going to work. And I'm up all day, every day thinking about it, and then it doesn't work out, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, I obsess over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still go through the crap daily. Opening my first location was really hard because getting the girls moved in and figuring it out, it was hard, man. It was definitely a lot of work.
Do you feel like it's like an emotional roller coaster?
Oh yeah, of course. But I wouldn't trade it. It's fun. I like it.
Would you trade it now with Corona? How do you feel on this emotional roller coaster right now?
I don't know, man. This whole Corona thing, it's crazy. It's definitely something to take seriously. We're 6 feet, so don't give us any crap.
Yeah,
we measured. So, this whole Corona thing, it's crazy. But, you know, what I hate seeing is a lot of people, kids, adults, teenagers, whatever, posting on social media, you know, oh, so much time to watch Netflix and do this stuff. How about make yourself better? Just take an hour a day, 2 hours a day. You know, hour working out, take care of your body. Because, you know, if you don't have a good body, it doesn't matter what you do or how rich you are. Health is important. You can't buy health. So you got to take care of yourself. But, you know, better yourself, better your brain, do something. Just sitting around watching Netflix all day. And I've been guilty of it too. I did it the other week. I'm like, I felt so bad about myself at the end of the day because all I did was watch Mine Hunters on Netflix all day. And I didn't learn one thing. It didn't benefit me. And people are saying, you know, oh, we're in the quarantine, we can't go anywhere. Man, there has never been so much stuff online to watch. Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, heck, all your churches are online. Do something. Better yourself. Do something.
Exactly. Gee, you just want to complain and woe is me. Mm-hmm. I can't stand those people.
Yeah. And to me, I got one buddy, he's a college student, but he bought like Gucci fabric, Louis Vuitton fabric and all that, and he's making masks. These little masks, and he's sold probably 100 of them, and he's made $1,000 just sitting in his apartment, not, you know, benefiting himself. The amount of people, you know, he's helped people. He learned how to sew, you know. Yeah. I mean, he learned a lot of stuff, and he made a little bit of cash while doing it and helping others. So there's no excuse. There's zero excuse to sit there and watch TV all day and just bum around.
Dude, I love it. So like one thing that I talk to our team about and everybody that I come in contact with, you know, if we're going to talk business, I'm like, look, business is always a game. And I don't mean that like right now we're in some fantasy game of checkers. Like we're basically in the Hunger Games. Uh-huh. But you're navigating this course, right? And you know, your monetary system might be your scoreboard, you know, whatever, but you're in a game, right? And the rules of the game just changed. And the new objective of the game is to stay in business. Mm-hmm. And the rules are that you're not allowed to be open and nobody can come to you. Yeah. But you still have to stay in business. So like with that being the new game of the rules of the game, what are you doing to, like, what's your game plan in this thing?
So, you know, right now, I mean, I'm per the governor, you know, all our locations are shut down. But I'm really focusing on that retention rate. I'm really, you know, letting my girls and my guys know, hey, we're here for you. If you need anything, I'll go down there and I'll go in their suites with them and help them get stuff they need out of their suite so they can work at home. Right now, it's just, for me, it's just keeping them. It's just keeping. Yeah. And my other partner, he's trying to work with the landlord, see if we can get something worked out. Because, you know, I lease a space. I don't own the space. So that's what we're doing right now. And just, like I said, I try to wake up and do something productive every day.
For them.
Of course. I want them to know I'm not just blowing smoke. Like I truly, really am there for them. And one of the reasons I love this business model is because I'm taking, you know, a team of one or a team of two that can't take on a, you know, $5,000 a month rent in a, you know, complex in the city of Atlanta. They can't afford that.
And so all the operating costs.
So I'm taking them in. To me, you know, I got 20 between just Acres Mill and Midtown, which is about 5-6 miles apart. I got 24 suites in Midtown, and we got 32 in Acres Mill. I mean, man, how many entrepreneurs, how many dreams? To me, that's freaking awesome. You know, they're owning their own business. They're doing what they've always wanted to do their entire life. They wear what they want. They say what they want. They do what they want. They produce what they want. They see what clients they want. You know, if they don't want to show up for 3 weeks, they don't show up for 3 weeks. They do. That's the American dream. Like, it's never been so readily available.
You're just giving them that platform to be successful.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, and I try to stress it to these people, if they're not successful, I'm not successful. If they're not in there and they can't lease a space because they don't have any clients or their marketing isn't good, it doesn't mean then I'm not making money because they got to leave.
Dude, we're talking the same language.
Yeah.
I say that about all of our members, that if they're not successful, we're not successful. Strongside is built on the fact that you have to come.
Yep.
Like, we're retention rate focused. Like, I love every single bit of that.
And that's the thing I see in our business models. They're a lot alike. They're different in a lot of ways, but they're a lot alike because it's you got to let them know you're there for them. You know, you got to show the love, and Mitchell does an awesome job at it. He's got a handwritten letter from Mitch the other day.
I can't live on
that. Yeah, so stuff like that's awesome. I really like that stuff. But, you know, during this quarantine, just make yourself better. Hang in there. We'll get through this. And, you know, suck it up. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. You can sit there, whine and complain, and I've done it. I did it this morning on the phone with my dad. I'm sitting there whining, complaining, but at the end of the day, I got a roof over my head. I got a big TV to watch something on. I got air conditioning. We live in America. We have a lot to be thankful for.
That is true. When you think about it, because I do the same thing. I'm complaining on my iPhone with my 60-inch TV, eating breakfast, and I can't go find my key fob to get into my car.
Exactly.
What are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
What's like something that you would give, like, you know, you got somebody out there and they're just wanting to be better. Maybe they own their own business, you know, whatever, and they're in the same situation. Everybody's life changed, right? Mm-hmm. And my belief is that the world might slow down, but it's not going to stop. You know, you hear all this stuff about maybe social distancing continues to 2022. Maybe it does, whatever. But it'll slow down, but it ain't going to stop. And you will get through this. The question isn't, are you going to get through it or not? The question is, what are you going to look like on the other side?
Yeah.
So what would you give some advice to somebody, and, you know, maybe you need to talk to your landlord, maybe you need to take these 3 steps.
Yeah.
What would you push in your business in general?
I mean, you know, if you're out there on a business loan, I'd see if they can kick the loan down the road, which I know has happened to a lot of people, kicking it 90 days, just picking up at 90 days or 180 days. You're talking to your landlord's huge. If you're renting a space, go in there and beg, plead, and do what you got to do. You know, some people have loss of profit insurance, so extreme loss of profit. And to me, you know, I look at this as an opportunity to, I'm going to say it, but eat the week, like Mitch said earlier. You know, when coming out of this, there's going to be a lot of people that, like, I'm done owning my own business. And that's the opportunity where, you know, hungry people like Mitchell and I come by and we help those people out and we scoop up their business and we buy their business and do things like that. But definitely communication, reach out to your mentors and ask them what they're doing. Reach out to other successful people, tell them your situation and be like, this is, you know, I'm a small business owner. What can I do? How can I get there? You know, this is different than when the economy collapsed in 2008.
So different.
Right now, the banks have all the money. They're begging to give money away. They need to give loans to stay in business. So, you know, I think it's a man-made financial crisis. I'm not worried about it. I think we'll get through it, and I think we'll be fine.
It's so weird. I was talking to one of my other clients about it this morning that, like, how does it is just weird. Like, I don't even have an answer for it, but you're telling me the Dow Jones goes from 29 to 19 or 18, and then it's back up to 24, 25, and there's all these massive layoffs.
Yeah.
And now they're in round 2 of layoffs, like where it's going to start getting deeper. I get that. But people still going to Home Depot, people still redoing their houses, people are still gobbling up food at to-go restaurants and stuff. I'm like, dude, for how much longer is the question, but they still have it. Like, the banks still have money, people still have money.
Yeah.
It is like this man-made thing.
I really do think it's man-made. The thing that kind of somewhat excites me about this is the amount of ideas that are going to come from this, and the amount of new businesses and things we're going to see. And, you know, probably not in our lifetime, but maybe our great our grandkids or our great grandkids, they're going to see something like this again. It's going to happen, but they're going to be more prepared. We're the dummies. We're figuring it out for them.
There will be a lot of infrastructure that is built right now that, like I said, or like you just said, like all these new ideas, like things that didn't exist before are going to exist.
I think there will be more jobs created out of this than there are jobs that went away.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot more jobs created. And to me, too, this eliminates what I like to call the ankle biters. Ankle biters are your guys that are always cutting prices and doing things to, get around. I always say you're one-man show that shows up with a chainsaw and says you can cut your tree down for $100. That, to me, is an ankle biter. It's going to get rid of those people. It's going to eliminate them. Not that I don't like competition, but I want serious competition. I want ankle biter.
You want to dominate, dude.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's hard. It's hard doing that because, like, I know that, like, for my industry, most consumers think fitness is fitness, and they think that if they get out of breath somewhere, they will get the same result at this location. They will at this location. As long as their heart rate is X beats per minute, then they will have the same result. So why should I go join this place versus this place? And that's the constant battle. Well, down the road is $99. I get that. But it's not the same thing for that.
I'm the same thing too, man. My suites are a little bit more expensive than the one down the street. And they're like, oh, well, I'm like, well, let's look into it. My utilities are included. You have 24-hour access to me. I have a handyman down the street. I have a receptionist on site, and all that. And they're like, oh, okay. You might be $50 extra a week, but it makes sense.
But you're not shedding out that much over time. I'm like, I tell people all the time that we gauge our success as a business on how many Transformation Tuesdays we're backlogged, right? Like, wouldn't you want to go somewhere that ensures that they're doing everything in their power to have, we're in April right now, that we have June Transformation Tuesdays lined up.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what I love about y'all. We're never like, hey, Mitchell, what's coming up? What's going on? You have it. You already know. We don't ever have to ask, like, hey, Mitchell, what are the events in April? You already know. You've already,
boom, boom, boom.
Exactly. So you got to have that. You got to have that in today's world too. Like that's expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you don't do it, you're behind. So,
and if you're barely doing it, you're keeping your head above water.
Exactly.
Dude. Yeah.
Exactly. And you have a great team. That's one thing that I've seen you build over the past 6-7 months that I've known you, is you've really surrounded these people. You put these people around you that are absolutely kick ass and can really help you out.
Want some power players, dude.
Exactly. So, and that's what I've always been taught too. Like, Bill Gates, he's a smart guy, but the way he got to where he is he hired a lot of smarter people than him around him.
Yeah.
That's how he's where he is.
So what I'm hearing from you is work your butt off like crazy.
Yep.
Be very diligent in your task. Surround yourself with a bunch of amazing people and think a little different and just try to be better.
Yeah. And one thing too, I always like to talk patience. And I suck. I have zero patience. I want the results tomorrow, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. I think you set 2 to 3 short-term goals, which is 2 to 3 years for me. And then you set some long-term goals, which is your 5 to 10 range. You set a couple realistic, attainable goals, and you just got to be patient because. I
agree with you. I find it interesting that a lot of times people are. You need to be very aggressive on your day-to-day action and very patient in your long-term goal.
Yep.
And typically it's the other way, where people will say, I want to achieve this massive goal, so I'm going to sprint and try to get it.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day tasks that will actually get you there are the things that turn into this marathon. Maybe it's these emails you don't respond to, or it's these appointments you don't go to. And those are the things that will actually get you there, but you put on the back burner because you're like, I need to get over there.
Yeah.
Kinda, but you're not laying the stones
exactly
to go through there.
Yeah. And then again, like me, I can't run 3 miles, but I can lightly jog 3 miles. If you just kill yourself, absolutely work hard. Don't get me wrong, but if you kill yourself, you're gonna sit there with money one day. You haven't talked to your parents. Your girl's kicked you to the curb because you don't pay attention to her. Your buddies think you're selfish, jerk. You gotta have that family time and that time. You gotta take care of yourself because we have a long ways to go.
You gotta keep multiplying.
Yeah, and who you hang out with is who you're gonna become. I have a very, very, very tight circle. I'm very cautious about who I become friends with and who I trust and who I hang out with. I got great parents, and my girlfriend's awesome. She's really supportive of what I do, and she understands it. If I gotta stay up on the laptop till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock that morning, that morning, hey, tomorrow night, how about I put my let me work tonight, and then tomorrow night let's watch a movie together. And she's awesome with that, man. It's compromising.
Yep, 100%. My wife has never told me that I work too much. Because she
Exactly.
supports the goal and she understands now you got to trade off that time. I always walk the dog. That's like my big thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do that. But I mean, you
before my girl comes home, it takes me 10 minutes to sweep and do the dishes and buff the counter real good, take the trash out. Do that for her, and she's on board, man. She's really supportive, and she's awesome. So
yeah, dude, man, I love it. Hey, thanks for
Mitch.
coming on. Thanks
Appreciate
for being
you
a
having
power
me,
player,
man.
dude.
Thanks.
This guy gets me fired up. This is legit good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It'll be on YouTube next, and we'll send that out to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.